Hey everyone! Welcome to Steven Universe, the show where we look at the universe of Steven Universe. I'm your host, Victor Frost. First things first, the news. Last week, Cartoon Network announced that it's partnered with toy and novelty makers Funko, Just Toys International, Fat Mojo, Toy Factory, and Zag Toys to create product lines based on Steven Universe. The fandom reaction? About goddamn time. Cartoon Network, look, we know that there is a lot involved with making these kinds of deals. We know you're not Hasbro that you can just wind up your own toy factories for every show you make. You're a media company, you don't have toy factories. But we also know that you are a media company, a very good one. You've put out hit after hit with Star Wars Clone Wars, Ben 10, Adventure Time, Regular Show, Over the Garden Wall, Amazing World of Gumball. You can probably pretty accurately figure out what's going to be a hit. And since you are part of Time Warner, you can't tell us that there are manufacturers that have ties with either you or any of your parent or sister companies just waiting for the go-ahead on these things. It's been 2 years since the show launched. You ordered 13 more episodes for season 1 a week after the premiere. The numbers were so good. In the following July, you ordered a second season. You want to tell me that somewhere between the series launch and July of 2014, you didn't think the show would work out well enough to warrant a toy line? Or if you did, does it really take a year and a half to secure these deals? Christ, I mean, if nothing else, think of all the money you lost by people selling products with your properties on them, on Etsy or in artist alleys of conventions. If we can't get them from you, guess where we're going? At any rate, I think we'll all be glad when these finally do go on sale. For more details on what each vendor will be offering, sparse though those details may be, hit the link in the description to the animationmagazine.net article. But, Cartoon Network, just in case you are actually listening, might I recommend something? Steven stores things in Lion, right? 2 words. Lion Backpack. That would sell like gangbusters, but hey, you don't have to believe me. Let's go ask your target demographic. Hey, bro. Question for you. Okay, so Cartoon Network is going to be making toys for Steven Universe. How do you feel about that?
Awesome.
Okay.
I feel awesome.
Good. Alright, now you like Lion, right?
Yep.
How would you feel about a Lion backpack?
Awesome. I think that'd be the coolest way to put things in your backpack.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Would you totally wear one?
Yeah.
How old are you?
10.
Good. Thank you. In other news, the book Guide to the Crystal Gems is now available for purchase. You can get it for $9.99 as a Kindle ebook or for $5.99 as a hardcover through Amazon Prime. Amazon, of course, isn't the only option, but it's the cheapest that I've found. Having already read the book, I highly recommend it to all you Steven Universe fans out there. Apart from the fact that your economic action is a great way of telling Cartoon Network that you love Steven Universe, this book is chock full of new and interesting info about the Crystal Gems and the show. Just as a sample, here is Rose's Manifesto, which Pearl refers to as a radical doctrine, words not typically found in a children's book. Fight for life on planet Earth. Defend all human beings, even the ones that you don't understand. Believe in love that is out of anyone's control, and then risk everything for it. If you're thinking about buying the book, I'd like to ask you for a favor. In the description of this video, there is a link to buy the book on Amazon. If you buy the book through that link, I get a little kickback from Amazon for referring them to you, or you to them. You absolutely do not have to use that link. In fact, there'll be a non-referral link right under it. But if you like my show and you want to buy the book, I'd appreciate it if you'd help me out by using that link. This show doesn't make nearly enough through YouTube ads to offset its operating costs, so any help would be greatly appreciated. In a reply to Twitter user Rooney Zafenia asking if the episode Too Far was the last one for 2015, seeing as no future episodes have confirmed air dates, Steven Universe writer Matt Burnett replied, "Yep, see you next year." This tweet, however, was pulled down, but not as you saw before someone screenshotted it. I didn't personally see the tweet, so in an effort to verify this information, it seems that it was still fresh enough in Google's crawl to have it as news, albeit linking to a dead tweet. Now, we don't know whether it was pulled because it's incorrect, because it came ahead of any official Cartoon Network press releases, or some other reason, but... Hey everyone, Victor Frost here in post-production land, breaking in for some breaking news. It seems about 4 hours ago, Matt Burnett posted to his Twitter that the hiatus is definitely happening, and that Steven Universe is going to return, and when it does, there's going to be several big things planned for it. Quote, "The rest of Season 2 is probably the best run of episodes yet." Well, if it's better than everything else, I think we are going to be in for quite a ride. Personally, I'm excited to see when the hiatus comes back and how that factors into the release and distribution of those toys we talked about earlier. As for me, well, wouldn't you know it, I finished recording all the footage and... yeah, go to edit it and there's some breaking news, so here we are. Anyways, I return you now to your regularly scheduled programming. Finally, if you hadn't heard, the episode Too Far was leaked onto the episode this past weekend. Many of you who watched it before its public release reached out to me and asked me what I thought about it, what my commentary was on the plot and the characters. If you watch leaks, that's okay. I love this show too, and I completely understand the need to know what happens next. However, this channel is a commercial venture, one that I hope will, one day, make enough money to support itself. And while exploiting the accidental release of an episode to get a leg up on everyone else reviewing it in the hopes of getting a couple of hundred more views just a bit earlier would certainly be in the best interest of that goal, it is not something I'm prepared to do. Here at Steven Universe, we respect the rights of creators to control how and when their media is released, and thus will not review episodes until they are officially released. Call it a self-imposed press embargo. A gentleman's agreement between one content creator and another. Now it's time for us to look at the episode and see what we learned. If you haven't yet seen the episode, Back to the Barn, now's your chance to pause this video, go watch that one, then come back. Don't worry, we'll wait. This is your spoiler alert. New episode, new lore. Let's see what we learned. Oh, Peridot, you've been such a great character throughout the series. You've been so many things. A harbinger of doom, a comedic yet competent villain, and now an excellent quality of delicious, wonderful world-building lore. Ooh, I just love it. First off, we learned that there is some sort of hierarchy to the homeworld gem civilization. This, in and of itself, wasn't a surprise to most fans. A very common fan theory was that gems were assigned specific roles based on their gem types. Many people, myself included, assumed Pearl was some sort of technician and learned the mastery of combat, in that way superseding her assigned purpose. But in fact, it was very much more than that. We get confirmation that, although we've only ever seen one of any given type of gem, that all of the grammatical cues in the dialogue throughout the show do indeed add up to the fact that gem types aren't unique, that there are multiple amethysts, rubies, sapphires, and as it turns out, hundreds of pearls. I'm sure somewhere in Beach City, Mayor Dewey just felt inexplicably happy. This new information of pearls being some sort of race used as nothing more than status symbols and servants, commodities that are made to order with no purpose outside of their instruction, casts a lot of Pearl's behavior in the series in a more revealing light. Her comments about the plants in the rose garden.
Look at them. They're a mess without her guidance. Directionless, pathetic, clinging things. It's going to be okay, Garnet.
Sure.
You really think so?
Her compulsive need for aesthetic neatness.
You don't understand. Symmetrical means both sides have to be the same. Oh, gosh.
And her pride.
We've looked all over. There's nothing out here to find.
But you're wrong.
Excuse me?
But you might be saying, hold up. That last one doesn't quite make sense. why would pride be a key trait for someone who's a member of a servile race? Since we know that pearls are made to order, wouldn't the inclusion of pride be counterproductive in the creation of such a race? And you'd be right. But that question would forego the entire development of Pearl's identity. The working identity of an individual is shaped by their experiences. We learn and act and learn from the repercussions of those actions, which affect how we act in the future and how we perceive the actions of others, affecting what messages we take away from our future experiences, which in turn affect our actions, and it goes on like that for our entire lives. In the same way, our past experiences are how we evaluate ourselves, and that entire process is relative. If you're from a low-income family, getting a job as a manager at McDonald's might be pretty exciting. If you're from a well-off family, being a manager at McDonald's might feel demeaning. Even when we have fundamental shifts in our worldviews, like a religious person suddenly having their beliefs challenged in a real way, leading them to maybe changing how they consider the role of religion in their lives or reevaluating their belief system, the ideas previously held still have weight on our actions. It's incredibly hard, if not impossible, to completely divorce ourselves, our current selves, from our past experiences. Old habits die hard. This complicated interweaving of experiences is what creates personal identity, as no two people ever have exactly the same experiences. And this applies to gems too. Even if, when they're initially formed, they're functionally identical, from that moment on, their experiences will differ, and since they are intelligent beings able to learn and adapt, they'll experience the same process of experiential learning that we do. This natural differentiation through experience is what makes Pearl, Pearl, instead of Pearl. It's through this process that Pearl probably acquired her sense of pride. Pearls on the homeworld are slaves, and this has been the case for thousands of years, if not for all of preceding history. There is a dense, long-running, and deep-rooted part of homeworld culture that pearls are just there to look pretty and do what people say. But that isn't Pearl. I mean, she is pretty, but she's also a master fighter, extremely intelligent, and amazing technician. She is so much more than, well, jewelry. And she made herself like that. She worked hard and trained and practiced to be the person she is today. Starting on the lowest rung of the totem pole and then working your way up to being as equally capable as anyone else, if not more so, especially when society tells you can't be, that's something to be proud of, and she absolutely is. But that history, that societal pressure, it has an impact, even though she's literally light years away from that society. When she fails or makes a mistake or has doubts about herself, the whispers of homeworld start to creep in. What are you doing? You can't do this. You're just a pearl. These are all neat tricks, but you're useless on your own, and you know it. That's who you are. You need someone to tell you what to do. This is what happens when you try to be your own gem. Things go wrong, people get hurt. You're just not capable of this. This is one of Pearl's personal struggles in the series, though most viscerally in the Sardonyx arc, which Garnet helped her through by reaffirming her strength and independence in friendship. However, the central conflict of this episode is based around Peridot's repeated vocalization of what are probably Pearl's own darkest thoughts. Before, she might have just huffed at Peridot, walked away with an air of indignation, and then let all that self-doubt creep back in. But Pearl is stronger now than she was before the Sardonyx arc, and she would have none of that. The robot battle was a way for Pearl to symbolically challenge the ideas and cultural mores of not just Peridot, but all of Homeworld. By asserting her abilities, Pearl showed that both she and every other Pearl are capable of so much more than what Homeworld believed. In effect, near the climax of the battle, she isn't just saying,
That's right! I am a pearl! Pearl!
She's saying, "That's right, I'm a Pearl. Now see what a Pearl can do." For Peridot, the episode was less complex. It was really about her getting to understand that here on Earth, the rules are different. Pearls aren't accessories, but people, just like anyone else. She definitely learned that, but I personally hope that she eventually learns that about herself. Remember, she may be higher than Pearl in the homeworld, let's just call it a caste system, but she's still not high enough that her having ownership of a Pearl would be expected. This society isn't a simple two-class system, but is clearly more stratified, and Peridots are not at the top. And that's what we learned this time on Steven Universe Universe. Join us next week as we discuss the episode Too Far. I'm Victor Frost, and I'll see you next time on Steven Universe Universe.